And good evening, Facebook, and welcome to Don't Stream and Drive. Today is Don't Stream and Drive Day. It's March 2nd, and here to explain all about the day and to recount the events of the day is Neil. Will be Neil.
Will be Neil.
This is live broadcasting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There he is. You're frightening everybody by giving them the full screen of me straight away. Well, good evening, everybody. This is the third broadcast today that I've done in company with Stephen here and John, who will hopefully join us later. And it's just to sort of give people the opportunity to come and talk to us about Don't Stream and Drive Day, what it's about, what some of the dangers are and the risks around using phones whilst driving behind the wheel, and especially with regard to live streaming video through any number of platforms that can now do that. And so the day is a culmination of a number of weeks of publishing information about the campaign and raising awareness, and this is sort of like the final conclusion to it all. And today was specifically set to be today because those of you who will have been watching the news and aware of what's going on social media will have seen that yesterday the government increased the penalties on mobile phone use by drivers when they're handheld from £100 and 3 points to £200 and 6 points. So the fine and the penalty has doubled, as Stephen's put there on the screen for us. So that's made a huge difference for all drivers on the road who may engage in this kind of behaviour, because for drivers with a clean licence who've been driving for more than 2 years, that's 2 strikes and you're out, and you'll end up disqualified by virtue of totting up. New drivers with less than 2 years since passing their test, if they accrue 6 points within that time, they will find their licence revoked. So for new drivers, it's 1 strike and you're out, and they will face themselves having to take the test again and moving on. I see John's now with us, which is excellent. So Don't Stream and Drive Day was set on this date, March the 2nd, with the coordination of the National Roads Policing Intelligence Forum, which is part of the NPCC Road Policing Leads portfolio. And it was set to today in order to tie in and run alongside the campaign that's running with every police force in the country that started yesterday and will run for a week on targeting drivers with the new legislation and the use of phones whilst driving. And that's what the nuts and bolts of Don't Stream is about. It's about using phones by drivers in cars. So phones, cars and drivers do not mix, and that's what Don't Stream and Drive is. And this is just a specific one particular use of phones by drivers across the live stream platforms. So the day set off this morning. We've been doing quite well. There was a thunderclap at 12 midday that 423 people, I think, signed up to. That went out at lunchtime. You see the spike on the graph that Stephen's put up there for us that came at midday. That's now tailed back down to about the sort of second highest level there, and it's sort of tickling along at that level as the evening goes along. We're reaching the peak times now for Twitter, sort of anytime really picks up engagement, some sort of 5 o'clock through till 9 o'clock this evening. Engagement generally picks up, so I'm hopeful that more and more people will start tweeting their message and getting the hashtag out there. That will increase our engagement. But as it stands, the current stats figures from Twitonomy tell me that Don't Stream and Drive hashtag since midnight this morning, or 12:09 a.m. this morning, there have been 1,855 tweets, and the potential social media reach has just tipped over 13 million people. So we're getting a huge visibility of the hashtag that's raising awareness of the dangers. And one of the things that I've been asking people to do, it's been taken up quite well today, but not as well as I'd like. So maybe if people are watching, you're thinking, mate, what can you do to take part? Well, then post a photograph of your eyes in a cycle of shots. As again, Stephen is a slick operator, perfectly timed there, just jumps up on the screen to tell us that post that of your eyes, and it's basically the concept is that your eyes are on the road, not on your phone. And that's one of the biggest dangers of live stream drivers, because the interaction that comes with platforms such as Periscope is it gives you the opportunity as a broadcaster to receive comments from the viewers, which means that your eyes go off the road and start looking at the phone to read the comment and respond, and then come back to the road. And one of the biggest issues that I've found in all the time that I've been watching live stream drivers is that when you're driving a car and you're driving down the road like this, and then you want to change the stereo, you glance down, you change it, and you look back and you're back on the road. And what happens, so ultimately, the bulk of your attention is straight ahead. You're looking at the road, you're checking your mirrors, you're doing all those kind of things. With live stream drivers, there's often a complete and utter reversal of that. And what happens is that drivers spend more time looking at their phone and reading their comments, and then glance at the road for a confidence check. So they're reading their comment, they reply, they laugh, they're engaging with the comments, and then a quick confidence check back at the road before they're looking back at their phone. There's a great video that I've got on YouTube of a driver who doesn't get into any difficulties, but he is streaming and driving, he's holding the phone, he's in America, and it's really worthwhile watching to see how long his eyes are actually off the road and staring at the phone. And there's a temptation to be consumed by it. You can't leave it alone. You want to look, you want to see what people are saying to you, and that's where it all goes wrong. So that's what the day's been about. So far, it's been very good. We've had some great support from right across the country, members of the public offices around the country. I have to single out a few people. Paul Cording from North Yorkshire Police has been superb. He's been very quiet today on social media, which is not like Paul, but he has tweeted about an hour ago. He's been on early shift today, and he's been dealing with a fatal road traffic collision in North Yorkshire. So he's been entirely placed in the best position to be doing what he should be doing, and that's not tweeting about don't stream and drive. It's dealing with the consequences of collisions on the road where people lose their lives for whatever reason that might be. So, you know, our condolences to the family involved in North Yorkshire there that have lost somebody today, which will be awful. Also, Chris Harris from Norfolk Police and Harry Tanguy from Devon and Cornwall Police have been instrumental in helping to build up the campaign. I'm really grateful to the support of Suzette Davenport, the Chief Constable at Gloucestershire Police, who's the road policing lead for the NPCC. She's made it her business to make sure that Don't Stream and Drive was part of this week's campaign and given her support to it. And of course, I'm a serving officer with the Cheshire Constabulary. This is stuff that I do in my own time, at my own expense, but as a police officer, I'm subject to the discipline service, and if my chief constable was unhappy with this campaign, or my head of professional standards were unhappy with this campaign, it would not go ahead. So I'm grateful for their continued sort of trust and support too. And it's been a great day. I'm hoping that we'll exceed last year's reach of just over 20 million. If we get to 21 million, we will have nailed it. I'm starting to think that's a bit of a tall order, but with another sort of 8 million to reach to go before midnight. But we'll see. Who knows? It all boils down to you guys who are watching and on Twitter and other platforms to sort of share that message out there. But so far, it's been a great day. And I'm really grateful to John and Steve for their time in supporting me with this today. Oh, take a breath.
I take a breath, yeah.
I'll give you a break for a moment. Anybody out there watching on the Facebook page, you can join us and come and talk to us directly. The link is above.
Absolutely.
So that's the Smiletime link. If you click the Smiletime link, pleased to have you in here and have a chat with you. And you can ask Neil any question you've got.
Absolutely.
Don't forget, tweet.
Not very good with quantum physics, but
don't forget, tweet now with the hashtag Don't Stream and Drive.
That's the one. And that's the thing, really. It's the great thing about the campaign is that it's not driven by any one big organization. It's the concept that I've come up with, and it's the concept that I drive, but it's the people of Twitter and social media that make it happen. Some great organizations, police forces, ambulance services, road safety charities and organizations, Break Charity, the Think team for the DFT. There's the slide there with all the organizations that are supporting it formally, which is fantastic. But they're the people that make it happen. They're the people that sort of spread the message. It has to be said that Greater Manchester Police have been absolutely stunning today. They have put a huge amount of content out across their main account, which has got nearly 400,000 followers. So that's getting out to a lot of people. But they've also put the same content out on pretty much every single neighbourhood account they've got around the whole Greater Manchester Force area, which is absolutely phenomenal. Really, really great support from them this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful when people do come together for a good cause. And speaking on behalf of John and I, we sort of treat this day as being a day when we can give something back and help ourselves, really, because if through your initiative and the assistance that you're getting, we can persuade some people just to stop streaming and driving, then the roads are a safer place for John and I. So it's a win-win situation.
I mean, it's one of those. There's a slide in there that you'll have which says if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, I think. And it's one of those things where I sort of say that everybody has a responsibility to road safety. You know, ourselves have a responsibility to road safety when we're driving. But as pedestrians, we have a responsibility to road safety. As cyclists, we have a responsibility to road safety. And my tack has been with this for a long time, is that if you're not part of the solution, i.e. you're not using your phone at all for anything whilst you're in the car, well, then you are part of the problem. By definition, you're part of the problem. And I think that's a really important sort of place to sort of help people understand where they are, because there's an awful lot of talk about how good we are as drivers, and none of us particularly will say that, oh, I'm a rubbish driver. There's not many people who would admit to being a rubbish driver, but some may say I'm an okay driver, some may say I'm a good driver, some may say I'm an exceptional driver because I'm advanced trained and all these sort of things. But ultimately, all that's stripped away the minute that you start doing something with your phone, because at that point you're a risk to everybody else and yourself.
Indeed. And if you didn't get a chance to take part in a great tweet out, which was at 12 p.m. today, then you can still search for the hashtag, Don't Stream and Drive in your Twitter feed and just retweet. That would be good. That's the one thing, if you want to help, if you can go to your Twitter account now, search for Don't Stream and Drive, and just simply retweet anybody who's tweeted the hashtag today. And you're doing your bit.
I mean, this is the thing. If you, one of the things that somebody said to me, Krishna Day said yesterday, he said, "If you care, share." And it's right. and it's quite a simple sort of phrase that sort of gets into the concept of it, really. In that people are dying. And somebody's died in North Yorkshire today. We don't know the reason why, but somebody's died in North Yorkshire on the roads today. And people are dying on our roads every single day of the year. And whether that's through excess speed or drink drive or drug drive or distracted driving for whatever reason, you know, fumbling around for a CD or messing around with your music on your iPod, like in the Thomas Croker case, or streaming and driving, or using Snapchat to get a speed filter. That's a common thing that's come up, certainly in the States, where a couple of people have died because they've been fooling around with Snapchat while they're driving. And so it's getting that message out there. And I think, you know, if you care about road safety, because the next person that's killed on the road could be somebody that's in your close or immediate family or one of your friends, and that's not what you want. It's not what I want. It's not what anybody wants. And so the aim is to try and help people understand, so we can all be better and safer people on the road. Indeed.
And your phone keeps ringing off the hook with people trying to contact you.
Yes. I should turn it off, actually, shouldn't I?
No, you shouldn't. No, because you can actually read the tweets as they're going through.
Yeah.
Don't need to turn it off. You're not driving.
Yeah.
Turn it off. You're not driving. Driving the Mac.
Absolutely. So yeah, but it's been great so far. I'm really pleased. And you know, we'll just have to see where the day unfolds after this evening, and then start looking at where it will go from here, because it's becoming quite a big campaign. And I think, as we said earlier, It perhaps needs formalizing a little bit now, but where it can still allow me as the individual and to use that influence that I've got on social media to sort of help drive it, and I can spearhead the campaign, but have it on a more secure, formal footing. So we'll have to see where those discussions go, but I'll be speaking with the National Roads Police and Intelligence Forum and perhaps TISPOL to see where they sit with this and what we can do. Because I think it's still an emerging problem on the roads. It's not as huge as texting. It's not as huge as people using the phone for phone calls, but it is there, and it's getting bigger all the time. And the live stream community is growing all the time, with a number of platforms that are increasingly offering the option to do live video: Snapchat, Instagram stories, Snapchat stories, Facebook Live, and Twitter with Periscope and Musical.ly and so on. There's too many to mention, really.
There are increasing number of platforms, as you say, and the thrust of everything is towards mobile. And that's part of the problem, isn't it? Because people are using their phones more and more to broadcast, but they shouldn't be doing it from the cars.
Exactly. It's the phone, as we said earlier, the phone has become an extension of people's hands. This goes with me everywhere. If I leave home without my phone, I'm like naked. If I've not got too far, it's very rare that I do, but if I've not got too far, I'm turning around and going back for it because I can't be without it. It's an essential piece of equipment that I have to have with me. For a number of reasons, contacting my wife, contacting my family, making sure they can contact me, but also the interaction I have with social media, how much of my life has become. But there's a line that's drawn when I get in the car, and when I get in the car, all that stops. So my wife will get cross with me when I'm sat at home and we're on the sofa watching a film and I keep picking up my phone and replying to tweets because I can't leave it alone, which is an issue that I've got. But there's a huge difference as to when I actually get in the car, because when I get in the car, much like the Think campaign that came out yesterday, which is converting the glove box to a phone box, the glove compartment to a phone compartment, I think is a great idea. And I drop my phone in the glove box now and leave it in there. That's the new name for the glove box, is the phone box. Drop it in there, put it on Do Not Disturb, allow the calls to just go through to voicemail. And if you've got Bluetooth on your car, de-pair it so that it doesn't work in the car. I mean, it might be that if you put it on Do Not Disturb, it might be the calls don't come through anyway, which is probably right, unless it's certain people that you want to allow through that filter. I think certainly on the iPhone, you can cut out all calls, but you could say, but all those people on my important list can still get through. So your wife or your partner or your husband or your children can still get through. But the likelihood is that those will be a very quick call, such as, where are you? I'm 10 minutes away. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. As opposed to having a full-blown business conversation with a customer for 30 minutes whilst you're driving up the motorway, which is a completely different kettle of fish altogether.
Indeed. And I just want to, just for a moment, you're successful when your Twitter tag is hijacked. This is a shout out to a certain garage in Leeds who hijacked Don't Stream and Drive earlier today, and good luck to them. It is good that people actually do get involved.
Yeah,
I mean, it got viewership of the hashtag, and that's what it's all about.
That's what it's about. Because the tweet itself was so unrelated to streaming and driving. It was about the lady leaning on the car and coming for a service or a 2-month checkup or something.
That's right.
And you think, well, that's nothing to do with streaming and driving, but they've piggybacked onto the hashtag to try and make a point. But it's quite pleasing, really, to see that people are picking up on the hashtag and starting to use it in that way, because that, if somebody looks at that and says, what the heck are they talking about, and looks further, well, then that's got to be a bonus. And one of the things that I've seen today is that a number of organizations are starting to use and create their own content So they're not just using my content or stuff from Think or other places. They've created their own images, they've created their own videos, and they're specifically tailored to Don't Stream and Drive. Derbyshire Police have done a short 1-minute video with Crest Derbyshire today, which is excellent, which is dedicated to Don't Stream and Drive. GMP have created a number of images that are all Don't Stream and Drive. And so there's been quite a few. And again, that's an older one, but that's Aviva Insurance who spoke to me and ran an article on FOMO, the fear of missing out earlier. Well, not earlier in this year, later, towards the latter end of last year. There's a really interesting fact on there with regard to speeds and times and what sort of distance you will cover at what speeds if your eyes are off the phone for around 5 seconds. So at 40 miles an hour, there's people will sort of look and say, well, my eyes aren't off the road for 5 seconds, because 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a long time. And you think somebody's got their eyes off the road for that sort of time, that's an awful long time. But what it's talking about is that whilst you're fully observant and watching everything that's going on around you, you have situational awareness of everything that's happening. And the minute that you look down, you lose that. And then when you look back up, you have to regain it. So if it takes you 5 seconds between losing that awareness and then regaining it, at 40 miles an hour, you've covered the length of a football pitch. And that's equivalent to being blindfolded, which is quite a scary thought, because anything could happen within that time. And so, yeah, Aviva have been great with that and supporting that. And I think they've got another article. I've not seen it yet, but they've got another article that's due out at some point soon as well.
And this sign threw me at first because I was trying to read from top to bottom, but you can't do that, can you?
Exactly. It's a bit like this sort of, patting your head and rubbing your stomach sort of thing, isn't it? Some people can do it and some people can't. One of the great things we do in police training is that when any police officer that watches this later or is watching this now will know that whenever they go on a public order training course, the trainers will get everybody together and they'll start you by walking around in the room in a big sort of square or whatever it happens to be. Then you'll do some jogging and you get slightly warmed up, and then they start working on arms and legs and wrists, because you're going to be doing a lot of cuff work, so you want nice sort of warmed up wrists and things. And one of the things that they'll do is the very simple, where people rotate their arms, both arms rotating forwards and then both arms rotating backwards, which is fine. And then they'll say, now then, rotate your left arm forward and your right arm backwards. And it causes mayhem. Suddenly people become very confused with that. And then if they're doing it, they'll then say, right, now reverse it the other way. So that your left arm's going backwards and it's really, it's one of those things that always gets the laugh, because everybody gets uncoordinated, like, oh, where my arm's going, and that's one of those things, isn't it? Is that it's difficult to concentrate on two opposing things at the same time. And so if you're concentrating on your phone while you're trying to drive, which demands all your attention, well, then the consequences, the difference between life and death is on a knife edge.
Indeed. Now, it's actually the fourth show we've done today, because we started off on Blabbing.
Blabbing, we did.
Yeah, so
it's a marathon.
It is, but if you go to YouTube, if you've missed the earlier shows, and you should really see a few moments of them at least, then you can go to YouTube and just type in "Don't Stream and Drive," and you'll find the first two videos on there. And this one will be there tomorrow, because Don't Stream and Drive is not just one day, is it, Neil?
No, it's a full, all year round, 24/7, 365 days of the year campaign. It's, same as mobile phones. The police are running a campaign now for a week, where we're really targeting and hitting hard on drivers that are using their phones in their hands while driving. But that doesn't mean that it then stops. Police around the country will still be prosecuting people for using the phone throughout the year. And Don't Stream and Drive is the same. Interestingly, I mean, it's a busy day for me today, but I've done some research on Periscope today and immediately found people live that are live streaming and driving. A chap in Bradford today has streamed for 50 minutes on his journey home. Didn't miss one comment, not one. And when challenged about it, No disrespect to him. It's his choice to do it and those things. And but I tried to point out the dangers. But he's basically said it's no different to glancing at my GPS. And I thought, well, what if you're running a GPS as well and doing that? So suddenly you think, how many extra burdens into that driving environment are you prepared to add before you hit critical mass and it all goes catastrophically wrong? And basically, he was reading every comment. That basically means that he's doing what we talked about before. He's reading the comment and a confidence check at the road, reading the comments, replying confidence check on the road, as opposed to the reverse of what it should be, which is my primary focus is down the road ahead of me and in my mirrors. And whenever I need to do an essential function within the car, indicate, put the blower on the windscreen because my windscreen's steaming up, turn the rear heated element on or whatever that happens to be. Critical things that you need to do, well, then the time away from the road is fractional, as opposed to reverse streaming drivers.
Refresh and come back. But yeah, I mean, it's, if we look at you up there, that's better. Okay. And this has been, if I can get that across there, it's Don't Stream and Drive Day. And the message is, has been going out all over Twitter and all over Facebook. And we have been supporting Neil in doing this. There's from an earlier show. And hopefully we'll be able to get Neil back now. I'll take those off the screen. And Neil will appear in my browser. And okay, I'm just going to change the layout back. So put ourselves at the top. And hello. Are you back?
Hello.
Hello.
No.
Right. Okay.
I can see you laughing.
Yeah, we can just about hear you, but you've frozen a little bit. Right. Okay. Now, if you go out again, close your browser, and then come back and just say hi, I'll bring you back on. Okay. If anybody does want to join us and come on air, then please do. Follow the link, which is up above, as John said earlier, and you can come and chat as we discuss Don't Stream and Drive Day. And we're hoping to get Neil back with us shortly, because he is the anchor of today and the creator of the Don't Stream and Drive hashtag and all the events that are taking place today. All centre around what Neil created last year in April. And right, okay, now we have more chats below, and this is a final chance. So we'll see what happens now. And hello.
Hi.
Right, okay, I've got your. You're back, we think.
Okay.
No. Yes. No.
Can you hear? Are you
positive?
I
Negative?
don't know. Let's go for broke here. Hello. No, we've got a signal problem up in Cheshire, and I think we've got a situation where the signal is gone.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yes.
Right. Well, this is the point at which we suddenly find the word gets out, and we get thousands of viewers all seeing the Don't Stream and Drive hashtag, and this is right. Okay, we'll carry on. You can come back in a minute, Neil. Right. Okay. I mean, that's what happens. This is what happens with the Blabbing for Britain show, isn't it? We're going along perfectly, and then all of a sudden something goes wrong, and people can tell that we've got a problem, and they start coming in a drove. So if you've joined the broadcast because you've heard there's a problem, we can confirm that there is. We have a situation where the line to Cheshire has got a problem. So we're just waiting for Neil to signal that he's back. He's told us we can carry on, and this is our second Don't Stream and Drive, so I suppose we can talk sensibly about it.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, it's our second year, and we've been listening to Neil. I mean, the message that's gone out today went out at 12 o'clock, and over 13 million people have been reached by the message around the world, and mainly in the UK. And to everybody who's tweeted out, okay, it's right. A message from Neil. I'll just bring up so that we can keep you informed of the current situation. That there's nobody in the house on the net, so it's a contention ratio problem, and this is obviously a broadband situation issue, which I know all about. John has no knowledge of because he's in wonderful Solihull with a mega connection to the internet. Yeah, so I think on Neil's behalf, we'd just like to say thank you to everybody who's taken part in Don't Stream and Drive Day today. I know Neil's going to keep going until midnight because it is a full day task, monitoring what's going on and getting more and more people involved. We hope that you can help with the push to 21 million. If you want to, then just go to your Twitter account on Twitter, search for Don't Stream and Drive. You'll find a host of tweets in your stream. Just retweet one or two of those and you'll be making a difference and getting the message out today. And it's not just today, really. I mean, Don't Stream and Drive should be every day. As Neil said, today there's a gentleman going down the M602 close to Leeds, and he was totally involved in what was happening on his mobile phone, and he was hands-free, but he was on his mobile phone, and basically, whilst he may have been safe, it only takes a few seconds, 5 seconds, if you are reading something. Isn't a long time, but it is. Right, okay. And I've been asked to post this.
I think he's wanting us to encourage people in their tweets to post a picture of their eyes.
Right, okay. Do you want to explain, John? Well, I'll move the eyes over there.
The object is that people tweet their own eyes,
Yep.
which you can cut out of any picture, with the hash Don't Stream and Drive, and commit that their eyes are on the road. So that's what we're really asking you to do, is tweet your eyes and tweet that with the hashtag Don't Stream and Drive and commit that your eyes are on the road.
And here's one
There's one done earlier from Mickey D.
Indeed. One from Michelle. So John's explained it. Just go ahead and do it. And if you can't do it today, then do it tomorrow. I think Neil wants the campaign to continue. And we're getting more chats coming in. So, yeah, so that's it. Now, I'll just take that off, take Neil off, and take Michelle off. It's back to you and I. Right, well, we started at 10 o'clock this morning, and it's been a long day since then. Sorry?
20 to 8 now.
It is, yeah. So if we change over here and just run through one or two of the graphics, and then John and I will say goodnight. The first thing we want to do is remember the show from last year, which was on a different platform, and today we're on Smiletime and broadcasting from Smiletime. So if you want to know how this is done, then I'm sure we're allowed one advert, John. If you type in LVS17 into Facebook, you'll find the group that John and I run with David Vaughan, and we'll help you go live in 2017. Just back to the media for a moment, and the message of the day is Don't Stream and Drive, and I'm sure Neil will want to say thank you to everybody, every organisation that has supported Don't Stream and Drive Today, and all the graphics that have been done and posted on Twitter. And there is a 7-day campaign which the police are running nationally, and you must be aware now that the rules changed yesterday, and the penalty for using your mobile phone whilst driving is now £200 and 6 points on your license. If you've been driving less than 2 years, that's your license.
Gone.
So, gone for at least, oh, it's gone.
For a person that's not been driving 2 years, you effectively start again and have to take your test again.
And yep, and also today, and this is from the West Midlands, and it's in a split second you could ruin your future, injure or kill others, and tear a hole in the heart of everyone who loves you. And that's from the West Midlands, and that was tweeted out today on Don't Stream and Drive Day. And I think I've got through all the things. I just want to go through this again, because this is situation today is, as Neil said earlier, and we do listen as well as contribute, is that drinking and driving can actually obviously increase your reaction times, but the most devastating effect is by a mobile phone on your reaction times. And the message today, quite simply, has been, don't veer off the road into a tree, and watch where you're going. So don't stream and drive. We're going to try one last time with Neil and just see if we can get Neil into the pallet. If we can't, no, I don't think that we can. Right, okay. So on behalf of Neil,
he's gone green. Does that mean he's just joined the pallet?
Okay, just a minute. Ah, the wonders of technology.
Am I back?
You're back!
I haven't done anything. I don't know what's happened, but...
Right. Okay, we can hear you now. You sound is good. So if I think we'd be tempting fate if we carried on. So if you want to close.
I think you've said everything that needs to be said. I'm very grateful to everybody that supported it throughout the day. I'm very grateful to you guys. And it's not over. It is a 24/7, 365 thing. So, you know, but the big final push now, we've just gone, we're approaching 13,100,000. So it's just the final push now towards the end of the day to see how far we can get that to go and get the message out there. But it's been a great day, and I'm really grateful to everybody.
It's been a pleasure to be part of it, and we just hope that people heed the information that you've given them, and that fewer people stream and drive.
Let's
in
hope
2017. So. And
we need another 7 million impressions. And let's all do our best to get those 7 million impressions.
That would be 21 million. Will stay past last year's total, which would be an amazing achievement. So, but yeah, fabulous. Really pleased.
Right, so we'll close down and say good night to you. So it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Okay. Take care.
Him.
It's time to go.
Then.
Bye for now.